Hey everyone, it's Jen from Lodo Family, and we have some interesting grocery news. It was just announced that the Kellogg's Corporation is going to split their company into two separate entities. Okay. The first one is going to be called Kelnova, and it is going to have a focus on their snack brands. These are going to be brands like cheez-it, Pringles, Morningstar Farms, Eggo waffles, and some international cereal brands. That's going to be things like Special K, Corn Flakes, and Nutri-Grain. On the other side, it's going to be a new entity called WK Kellogg Company, which is kind of a throwback to their original founder. This is going to have your iconic breakfast cereal brands. Those are going to be like Frosted Flakes, Fruit Loops, Mini Wheat, Special K, Raisin Bran, Rice Krispies, Kashi, and Bear Naked. Now, notice that a lot of the kids type cereals and like the sugary stuff is going to be part of the WK Kellogg brand, and the more healthy stuff is going to be under the Kelnova brand. And this is why this is important. So this splitting of the companies is very, very strategic. Okay. Apparently, over the last 20 years, the sale of cold and hot cereals has been in like a seriously steady decline. We're talking that IBIS World estimates the decline is over 17% since 2009. There was a small little blip when the pandemic started because more people started eating cereal, because I'm sure it's like a comfort food to a lot of people. But the cereal industry as a whole is about $12.9 billion as an industry value. Okay. Now, the snacking side, here's where it gets interesting. For the last few years, the consumer purchasing of snacks has consistently grown 5% every year. And the snack industry is valued at 1.2 trillion. So it totally makes sense that Kellogg's is now going to start focusing on the snack industry, which that could be a good sign if you're a big snacker, because this means that they're going to be putting all of their product development, their marketing into the snack side of things. So we might see some new snacks hitting the market soon. So kind of interested to see what we see. Now, what about the other side? What about cereals? Okay. More than likely, we will start to see certain cereals discontinued. Everybody knows that the cereal aisle in the grocery store is like 20 to 24 feet long. That is because there are so many different brands. And you will start to see that in certain stores, cereal that does not get sold as often or has less sales will start taking up less shelf space. So it is a very real possibility that cereals that just don't sell well are just going to be gone. They're just going to be discontinued. We will also possibly see more trends of new and emerging ingredients and processes. But this has a tendency to backfire. I don't know if you remember this, but General Mills, a couple years back, they decided to eliminate artificial dyes from their cereals because a lot of consumers were requesting all natural ingredients. So they started with Trix cereal. And instead of the super bright colors, they made a version of Trix that was all natural. And it was a huge flop. For all the people that liked the all natural cereal, there was probably 4 times as many who enjoyed the iconic cereal in its super bright colors, and it completely failed. And it actually stopped them from removing artificial dyes from the rest of their cereal brands like they had promised in 2017. So that was interesting. And Kellogg's is not the only company that's being affected by this. Just like I mentioned, General Mills, they recently notified their suppliers that there could be an upwards of 20% increase in the cost of their cereals like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Cheerios, Lucky Charms, Wheaties, and Reese's Puffs. Now, one small thing that could come out of this, a lot of cereal manufacturers come out with specialty limited time cereals. These are the ones that have special edition cereal boxes with movies and cartoon characters on it and like other fan favorite stuff. And you'll also possibly see the rise in seasonal flavors. It is much cheaper for a company to put out a limited product line for a short period of time because it makes consumers buy it more because they know it's only going to be around for a little bit, so they want to try it. So this is really a cash grab to try to get more one-time sales. So we can probably expect to see a lot of those coming up in this holiday season. So let's start a discussion here. Do you still regularly buy cereal? Will you continue to buy cereal if you start noticing the prices are going up, up, up? And are there any cereals that you really love that you would just absolutely hate to see go away? Like, we are not huge eaters of the sugary type cereals. Sometimes we eat them for snacks or dessert. But overall, we're just not a cereal household as far as eating breakfast in the morning. So I don't necessarily think this will affect us as much. But if you've ever gone into a discount retailer, I'm talking about like Ollie's, Big Lots, any of those type things, you will notice that the majority of their food stock is breakfast for related. And that is simply because these companies, they produce so much of this cereal and it's just not selling as well as they had planned to. So they sell it off to discount retailers. That's not a good sign. So on some instances, we may see some new snack brands coming out. We may see some limited edition cereals coming out. But I think overall, the actual cereal display aisles in grocery stores is probably going to start shrinking.